Hi, Sangeeta ma'am. Thank you so much for joining today. And today's competency that we are going to talk is decision making. And I know that in your entire career, which is more than 16 years into human resource, definitely you might have come across a lot of decision making problems and events. So
Yeah.
having said that, like you said, in one particular this same example, maybe there was one person who was the person who's affected. Maybe there is a
Hmm.
payroll team and there are other team members or other department who are involved. How
Yeah.
do you identify all these stakeholders? Because for me or any other HR professional, for us to identify which are the stakeholders who are going to get affected is very difficult. Once in a while,
Yeah.
after the decision, we get to know, okay, this has gone wrong with one of the stakeholders. So how do you
Yeah.
identify stakeholders?
So whenever there is an issue that comes up, first we identify the root cause and the issue, and then we list down all the people who will be affected. Like I'll give you a small example. In one of my organization, we were changing the travel policy. Now, whenever there's a change in the travel policy, superficially, who would be the person who would be affected is the users, the traveling team, the sales or the service team who are traveling. But if you check all the stakeholders in that particular process, it would start right from the travel desk, the travel agents, the travel desk, the employees, as well as the end comes when the claims are being cleared, the accounts team. So if the travel desk is not aware about the policy, they make wrong ticket bookings, then the effect would come on the users, the person who has traveled. If there's a wrong ticket booked for them and then the claim is not passed, so there you will have to understand the entire process. So that is how from based on the process we understand who will be impacted. I'll give you one small example. Another this is of a policy. There was one of the employee. Now here the impactors are different in this example. There was one of the employee, a senior employee in our organization, who had given reference of a close relative, and we had hired that person as a trainee in the organization. Now that person, the young chap was a bit immature in terms of that, because he was aware that he was hired for training through reference. He was not very you can say he was not very committed to his role or profile. So he did not follow the official company timings or the attendance rules or the leaves. Like he would, whenever he would feel, he would take leave and he would not attend, or he would come and in 4 or 5 hours I have some work and he would go away. So there was a lot of irregularity, and it came to the notice of the HR as well as the HOD of the department, and the person approached me. Now in that case, what would happen? The person who had referred was a very senior employee of the organization. So whatever decision we take, it will affect him as well, not only the trainee, but it is going to affect him as well. So therein we had to take a different decision, wherein first we had to inform the HOD that this is the case and these are the possibilities. If you can explain or convince your relative, the action would be different. If not, this is the action that is being taken, that there'll be a notice. Because apart from the HOD, the people working in the organization team also will be affected if you don't take any action. That also start not following the policies, because if there is no action taken, so therein a different approach has to be taken. So depending upon the process, I identify who will be impacted.
Okay, that's
So
really good.
later on we gave out the notice and then 2 notices, and then we had to remove him,
Okay,
because that is how it happened.
that sets an example to other people. Correct.
Yeah, because then it is going to affect different areas. It is not a
Correct.
direct process, but then the impactors are different.
Correct. Correct. So right now, like you said, right in this previous example, what you mentioned is there are a lot of people who act as an influencer as well.
Yes.
So my question to you is, while making a decision, because we all know that we all are in between the management as well as the employees. So there are people who are influential within employee sector. There are people who are influential in management as well. So how do you identify that who is the influencer in this decision making process, and how do you use them or either tackle them? What do you do with these influencers?
Again, like I said, understanding the entire process, the process life cycle, it helps you in making that decision. Who will be the influencer or who will be the impactor. Like for example, one organization when I joined, you are aware that there are multiple assets that are being bought in the organization, the laptops, desktops. Now desktops, people do not carry, so there is not much of a problem. It's the configuration and all that stuff as per the requirement is done. But for laptops, the laptop bags that were coming. Now, when I joined, within 2-3 months, I started getting complaints from the users, the sales and the traveling team, the field team, the sales and the service team, that the laptop bags were not sturdy, and within 1 or 2 use, they were getting torn. So the wear and tear was more of those bags. Now I started analyzing the situation that again, the users are one of the influencers. Though the laptop bags that were coming along with the laptop, as per the purchase team, they were branded, but while it was being used, it was not sturdy enough. So again, one of the influencers were the users. Again, the management, because management has to decide, because laptop bags that were coming along with the laptops, and if we go and purchase another laptop bag apart from this, that would add costs to the company. So management again was the influencer. The technical team, the asset allocation team, the IT team, again, they were facing the issue because they were getting a lot of complaints, which was adding to the their complaint book. It was getting bigger and bigger. So again, they were one of the influencers. So what I had to do is taking permission from the management, understanding the requirements of the users, and then analyzing, sitting with the purchase team, and then we decided, we went in for stitched bags. We called certain vendors. We checked the stitching, we checked various options, because you have to also look at the display of how the presentation of the bag whenever it's being carried to the client's place. So then a different decision was made that though the laptop bags that are coming, we were avoiding using those bags, and there were different bags that were taken from different vendors. They were stitched. So influences depends upon every situation would have different influences.
It is definitely there that not all the decisions might have turned out to be like fruitful or like what you thought. There can be at times where decisions go haywire. So are you aware about the risk taken in that decision? Are you aware about the result? If you feel that okay, let's take this call, but अगर नहीं हुआ तो ये plan B भी है. Do you do that? कैसे what is your way?
वो हर बार करना पड़ता है, because always ऐसा नहीं होता है. Life is not perfect, a person is not perfect. तो कई बार हम जो anticipate करते हैं वो शायद सही नहीं भी होता है. So usually recruitments में बहुत ऐसा होता है. We hire one person, by the time the person joins, either वो 2-3 दिन में छोड़ के चला जाता है rare cases में, या फिर join नहीं करता है. तो उस केस में पूरा recruitment cycle फिर से नहीं कर सकते हैं. उस केस में ऑलरेडी बैकअप रखना पड़ता है. जैसे एक एग्जांपल देती हूँ. एक रेयर केस हुआ था जिसमें ऐसा हुआ था कि एक क्लाइंट के लिए वी वर हायरिंग अ पर्सन, टेक्निकल पर्सन. तो उसका जब इंटरव्यूज, वो लोकल पर्सन नहीं था, तो जब हम लोग उसका इंटरव्यूज कर रहे थे, कुछ वीडियो टेक्निकल इश्यूज आ रहे थे, तो क्लाइंट सेड ओके, दैट्स ओके, वी विल डू टेलीफोनिक राउंड ऑफ इंटरव्यूज. उसके 2-3 टेलीफोनिक राउंड ऑफ इंटरव्यूज हुए. क्लाइंट ने उसको शॉर्टलिस्ट कर दिया, हमने ऑफर कर दिया, बंदे ने ज्वाइन भी कर लिया. अब ज्वाइन किया, उसके 1 वीक के विदिन हमको पता चला कि उसने डॉक्यूमेंट्स फेक किए थे और अपनी स्किल्स फेक की थी. नाउ इन दैट केस इट वाज क्रिटिकल. क्लाइंट ने अभी तक हमको बताया नहीं था, बट वी एज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वी केम टू नो कि ऐसा कुछ हुआ है. So, सबसे पहले तो एज एन एचआर हेड आई कॉल्ड हिज प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर. सब उसको दिखाया कि भाई ये इशू है, तो वी विल हैव टू टेक सम एक्शन. तो उसको हमने एक असाइनमेंट दिया करने को, टू टेस्ट हिज स्किल्स. उसको नहीं बताया, पर उसको एक असाइनमेंट दिया. द मोमेंट वी गेव हिम द असाइनमेंट, ही स्टार्टेड मेकिंग एक्सक्यूजेस कि आज मेरी तबीयत खराब है, मैं कल करूंगा, घर चला गया. दूसरे दिन आया, फिर से वो असाइनमेंट दिया, तो अगेन ही गिव द एक्सक्यूज, बीमारी का, चला गया. तीसरे दिन बोलता है आई एम हॉस्पिटलाइज्ड. उसके डॉक्यूमेंट सब मांगे, कुछ उससे सबमिट नहीं है. चौथे दिन वो खुद एब्सकॉन्ड हो गया, because he realized that his documents were fake and he would not be able to complete that assignment. Then we had to inform the client that such a case has happened, but we also gave the backup candidate, because we already had a backup candidate, 2 backup candidates, option 1, option 2, option 3. That's how we had to close it. तो ये anticipate नहीं किया था कि एक बार कैंडिडेट ने ज्वाइन कर लिया फिर ऐसा कुछ इश्यू आ सकता है. रिक्रूटमेंट्स में यूजुअली ऐसा होता है. वैसे कई सारे केसेस में ऐसा होता है. प्रोडक्शंस में होता है कि चलो ये नहीं हुआ हाफ वे थ्रू, या फिर इवन सेल्स में होता है कि चलो हमने ट्राई किया तो सेकंड ऑप्शन किया. दे ऑलरेडी हैव दैट फनल.
करेक्ट.
सेल्स जो करना होता है उनको अपनी फनल बड़ी रखनी होती है, बिकॉज जरूरी नहीं है कि जो भी डील्स वो ट्राई कर रहे हैं, हॉट कोल्ड केसेस जो भी होते हैं, वार्म केसेस, वो सारे क्लिक हो ही जाएंगे. सो दैट्स हाउ दे ऑलरेडी हैव दैट. तो डिसीजन मेकिंग में हमेशा ऐसा होता है कि यू हैव टू हैव एंटिसिपेशन तो है ही, बट फिर भी आपको रखना पड़ता है बैकअप प्लान, क्योंकि बैकअप प्लान नहीं रखा तो आपका पूरा साइकिल फिर से स्टार्ट होता है.
Correct. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Any last tips for people who, young professionals who struggle taking a decision? I would say not even young professionals, but I've seen people starting from 10th and 12th. That is the correct time where they have to take a decision. But I've seen a lot of youth are not able to take decisions in timely manner and the right decision. Any last tips you want to give them?
टाइमली मैनर तो ठीक है, बट व्हाट आई वुड सजेस्ट इज समटाइम्स इट सो हैपेंस कि आपको शॉर्ट टर्म बेनिफिट ज्यादा दिखते हैं. You would have to check whether problem solving आप कर रहे हो और डिसीजन ले रहे हो, आप लॉन्ग टर्म सोचो, क्योंकि अगर लॉन्ग टर्म आपने नहीं किया है तो वो प्रॉब्लम बार बार आएगा.
Correct.
वो सिचुएशन बार बार आएगी. अगर आप शॉर्ट टर्म में क्लोज कर लेते हो, लॉन्ग टर्म का नहीं देखते हो, देन आपका टाइम उसी में वेस्ट होता रहेगा. यू फॉल इन दैट पर्टिकुलर सर्कल. तो
Correct.
कभी भी कुछ भी आता है, कुछ भी डिसीजन लेना है, तो पहले प्रोज एंड कॉन्स शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए भी देखो कि क्या इफेक्ट्स आएंगे, क्या बेनिफिट्स आएंगे, और लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए भी देखो, बिकॉज बोथ ऑफ देम अगर टुगेदर आप देखते हो तो आप लाइफ में ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल होते हो, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट गोइंग बैक टू द प्रॉब्लम अगेन एंड अगेन, सिचुएशन अगेन एंड अगेन. आपके पास ऑलरेडी डिसीजन है, आपने प्लान बना के रखा है, तो आपके लिए नेक्स्ट टाइम वो और इजियर हो जाएगा अप्रोच करना है. टाइम इज जो टाइम मैनेजमेंट बोलते हैं, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि अगर आपने टाइम मैनेज प्रॉपर किया तो आपकी सक्सेस के लिए वो ज्यादा अहमियत रखता है.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining in and sharing your knowledge, experience, and great examples. I would say, I think that makes people, understand things in a easier manner. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you so much, Shyam. Have a nice day.